Hello everyone, welcome to my class of quadratic equations in one variable, chapter 5 of class 10 icse board. Now after completing this class, you should be able to identify the general form of a quadratic equation and identify also the roots of the equations or solution of the equations, and you should be able to find the nature of the roots of the equations also, and to form a quadratic equation from the given condition in a problem. Okay, questions from this chapter are generally easier, which helps you secure your marks in the boards. So let's begin. Now, if you remember, you have already learned how to factorize a trinomial, generally in the form of ax square plus bx plus c. There are three terms by splitting the middle term. Okay, and this is the middle term. So let us consider an example of say x square minus 4x minus 5. Now this is a trinomial. If you want to split the middle term, the process is you multiply the coefficients of the first and the constant term, that's a into c, right? A into c, we get 1 into minus 5 minus 5, and this product you have to factorize to get such two factors which when added gives you the middle term, or generally you are saying splitting the middle term. Okay, so the factors, since this is a negative number, so the factors, one has to be negative and the other one has to be positive. Okay, so minus 5, the factors are minus 1 into 5 or minus 5 into 1. Okay, so which one gives you minus 4? That's minus 1 plus 5. No, minus 5 plus 1. Okay, so we can write x square minus 5 x plus 1x, that's minus 4x. Okay, minus 5, and this you can take x common here, x minus 5, and if you take 1 common you get x minus 5. So now you have splitted the middle term and you have found the factors of this trinomial, x minus 5 into x plus 1. Okay, now what happens, this trinomial, when we equate this to 0, now suppose if I write x square minus 4x minus 5 equals to 0, then this is known as a quadratic equation. Okay, so quadratic in the sense the variable power is 2 and hence x cannot be equal to 0. Okay, so if you solve this, finally you have to factorize the left hand side and you get x minus 5 into x plus 1 equals to 0. The values of x for which the left hand expression becomes 0 or this equation holds true, those values are known as roots or solutions for the given equation. Okay, and you will always get two values of x for the given equation. Hence, you will always have two roots or solutions for a given quadratic equation. So you always get two solutions or roots in case of a quadratic equation. Okay, let us say alpha and beta are the two roots. Okay, now it means if you put those values in the equation, this equation, you get equals to 0. So if I put suppose if I take this equation, I get alpha square minus 4 alpha minus 5. If you put those values alpha, you should get equals to 0. And similarly, if you put beta also, you get 0. In the above example, it's easily visible that if I put x equals to 5, this term becomes 0 and hence the whole expression becomes 0. So here one of the roots is 5. So we can say alpha is 5, and we can also see from the other part that if we put x equals to minus 1, so from the first part we get x equals to 5, and the second part we get x equals to minus 1. So these are our two roots. Okay, so let us say this one is alpha and this one is beta. Now that means if I put 5 in this equation, say 5 square minus 4, so we are actually doing this. Okay, so alpha square minus 4 into alpha minus 5. Let us see whether it is equal to 0 or not. So that's 25 minus 20 minus 5, so that's 0. Now you understood, if you put the values of the roots in the given equation, you will always get the expression as 0. And if you put the other value also, like say beta minus 1, if you put minus 1, you are going to get 0 again. Now how to solve a given equation? Once you get the equation in the form like x minus 5 into x plus 1 equals to 0, as we have already seen this, then we apply zero product rule. Now what is zero product rule? Zero product rule. Suppose we have two numbers which when multiplied gives you 0. That means either one has to be 0, either a equals to 0 or b equals to 0 or both equals to 0. So we are applying zero product rule here. That means this part has to be 0 or this part has to be 0. So that means we get x minus 5 equals to 0 or x plus 1 equals to 0. Now that gives you x equals to 5 or x equals to minus 1. Now these are the two roots of the given equation. Okay. The general form of a quadratic equation is ax square plus bx plus c equals to 0. Now there are two methods that we are going to discuss in this class to solve a quadratic equation in one variable. Okay, you see that there is only one type of variable x. Okay, so the two methods are, the first one, as we have already seen, splitting the middle term and expressing the left hand side, the LHS of the equation, or expressing the left hand expression in the form of product of linear factors. Okay, that we did. And the other way is using formula given by Sridhar Acharya of India, and the formula is x equals to minus p plus minus root over t by 2a. Now b and a are the usual terms here. D is known as the discriminant. We are going to know about discriminant and this method later in other classes, but in this class we are going to see exercise 5.1 and 5.2. We'll also discuss the nature of the roots of the equation in other classes. This is our first question from the exercise. Okay, so in this question they are asking you to find out whether the given numbers are roots or solutions. Now, how to find whether given number is a root or a solution for the equation? So these are the numbers given. Okay, so we can say these are alpha and beta, and we have already discussed this in the explanation part. Okay, if these are the roots, say alpha is root 3 and beta is minus 2 root 3. That means if we substitute these values, substituting root 3 in the given equation, we should get the left expression to be equal to 0. Okay, so let us find out whether it is equal to 0 or not. So in place of x we are going to put root 3. So root 3 square minus 3 root 3 into root 3 plus 6. So now we are going to solve this and find out whether it is equal to 0. Root 3 square is root 3 into root 3, that's 3, minus again root 3 into root 3 is 3, and 3 into 3 is 9. 3 minus 9 plus 6. Now see the positive numbers. 3 plus 6 is 9, minus 9, that's equals to 0. Hence root 3 is a solution for the given equation. Now the second one, let's see, doing the same thing again, substituting minus 2 root 3 in the equation. So we get minus 2 root 3 whole square minus 3 root 3 into minus 2 root 3 plus 6. So that's minus into minus, 2 into 2 4, root 3 into root 3 3, 4 into 3, minus into minus plus, 3 into 2 6, root 3 into root 3 3 plus 6. So we can see that all are positive, right? So there is no negative number, hence it cannot be 0. So that's 12 plus 18, 30 plus 6, 36. So which is not equal to 0. Hence root 3 is the root or solution. Well, this one, that's minus 2 root 3, is not a solution. Okay, I hope you understood this part. Of the equation. Okay. In this question, 2 by 3 is a solution for the given equation. Okay, so this is the solution, it is already given, and you have to find the value of k. So when 2 by 3 is a solution, substituting 2 by 3 in the equation, we get, since this is a solution, this has to be equal to 0. Okay, in the previous question we had to find whether the given value is a solution. There we had to check, but here it is already given, so we can put it 7 into 2 by 3 square plus k into 2 by 3 minus 3 equals to 0. Now we are going to find the value of k from here. So that's you can now easily find it. That's 4 by 9, 28 by 9 plus 2 by 3k minus 3 equals to 0. So 2 by 3k equals to, so if you subtract this or we take everything on that side, that's 3 minus 28 by 9. So you get LCM is 3, 27 minus 28 by 9, that's minus 1 by 9. Okay, so k equals to cross multiplication, 3 goes to the numerator, minus 1 by 9 into 3 by 2. So 3 goes 3 times, we have minus 1 by 6. Okay, that's the value of the k when 2 by 3 is the solution of the given equation. Again, in this question we have a as the solution of the given equation. The equation is this. So let's write the equation first. We have x square minus a plus b into x plus k equals to 0. First of all, whenever you are going to solve, you have to see whether the given equation is in the form of ax square plus bx plus c. Okay, this is already in that form and we have a as the solution. So in place of x we are going to put a. So substituting x equals to a, we get a square minus a plus b into a plus k equals to 0. So from here we're going to find the value of k in terms of a, right? So we get a square minus a square. If you multiply and open the bracket, we get minus ab plus k equals to 0. So you see those two terms gets cancelled and this term we take it to the other side. So k equals to minus ab becomes plus ab. So this is the value of k in terms of ab. Understood? Now in this question, 2 by 3 and minus 3 are the given roots and we have two variables here, p and q. So we get two equations and we need to find the value of these two variables. Okay, so let's start with the first root first. So substituting x equals to 2 by 3, we get p into 2 by 3 square plus 7 into 2 by 3 plus q equals to 0. So that's 4 by 9p plus q, and we take it to the other side, we get 14 by 3, right? So plus 14 by 3 now becomes minus 14 by 3. Now if we take LCM, I get 4p plus 9q whole thing by 9 equals to minus 14 by 3. Now 9 taken to the other side, we get 4p plus 9q equals to minus 14 by 3 into 9. So 3 goes 3 times, we 4p plus 9q equals to minus 14 into 3 minus 42. Okay, this is our equation number 1. For the second part, substituting x equals to minus 3 in the equation, we get p into minus 3 square plus 7 into minus 3 plus q equals to 0. So that's 9p. Then we have minus 21 plus q equals to 0, and hence 9p plus q equals to 21. Now this is our second equation. I need to solve these two equations to find p and q. Okay, so we are going to use the elimination method, if you remember. So how do we do that? We equate one of the terms, like the first one we are going to keep it like that, 4p plus 9q equals to minus 42. Now the second one, when we are writing, we'll try to make this q part equal to this, so we are going to multiply with 9. So the second one into 9, we get 81p plus 9q equals to 9 into 21, we get 210 minus 21, 189. So we get 189. Now both these terms are equal now, and they have the same sign, so we have to subtract. Now minus, this becomes minus 81p, this becomes minus 9q, this is again minus. So now 4p minus 81p, we get minus 77, yeah, minus 77p equals to, so both are negative, we're going to add, so we get 189 plus 42 to 31. So p equals to minus 231 by minus 77. So I think that goes 3 times. Yep. So p equals to 3. Now to find the value of q, we just substitute p equals to 3 in one of those equations. Okay. So substituting p equals to 3 in, let's say, equation number 2. We'll take the second equation. So 9 into p, we have taken 3 plus q equals to 21. So we get 27 goes to that side. So q equals to 21 minus 27. That's minus 6. Now let us solve some quadratic equations and find their roots. Okay. So we have already discussed the factorization process of solving a quadratic equation, like splitting the middle term. Now how do we split the middle term? The process is, you need to compare the given equation with the general form. Okay, this is the general form, and when you compare, you get a equals to 1, b equals to minus 3, okay, and c equals to minus 10. The process is, you are going to multiply the first coefficient and the constant term so that you get minus 10. Okay, now when you multiply and you get a negative number like minus 10 here, so what is the process? If to get the factors, 1 has to be a negative number. Okay, so the factors of 10 are 1 into 10 or 2 into 5. These are the two factorization you have. Okay, so we're going to take those factors which when added gives the middle term. So that is how we say splitting the middle term. Okay, how do we get 3? If we take those factors, we get 3. No, if I take 5 minus 2, we get 3. Okay, so now we can write this as x square minus 5 minus 3, sorry, 5 minus 2 minus 10 equals to 0. So this is how we do it. Okay, and this applies to all the other questions. So x square, there has to be x. Okay, so if you open the bracket, you get minus 5x then minus into minus plus 2x. So if you now add minus 5x plus 2x, you get minus 3x. Okay, so now you can easily solve. You have already understood how to factorize, express the left expression into linear factors. If you take x common, we get x minus 5 plus 2, x minus 5, and that's x minus 5 common again. Then we have x plus 2, and applying the zero product rule, now we have x minus 5 equals to 0 or x plus 2 equals to 0. That means x is 5 or x equals to minus 2. So these are the solutions for the given equation. If you see this question and compare the values of a, b and c and multiply a and c, we get 21 into minus 4, we get minus 84. Okay, now the factorization of minus 84, we get these are the factors. Okay, if you see properly, these are all the ways to factorize minus 84, and which one we are going to choose. Now we need to get minus 8. How do we get minus 8? Or even if you see just 8, how do we get 8? If we take this one, 14 minus 21x square minus 14 minus 6x minus 4 equals to 0. Now you can simply go and solve this. That's minus 14x plus 6x minus 4 equals to 0. So what's common here? We can take 7x. We get 3x minus 2. And if we take 2 common here, we get 3x minus 2. So now we can take 3x minus 2 common and 7x plus 2. That's again applying the zero product rule. 3x minus 2 equals to 0 or 7x plus 2 equals to 0. We get x equals to 2 and then goes 3 in the denominator part, or x equals to minus 2 and then 7 goes down. Okay, this is the next question, question number 4, second part. Whenever you see an equation, you try to first convert it in the general form. Okay, so how do we convert this into general form? By taking LCM and then taking the denominator part to the other side. Okay, so now when you do this, you get 2x square minus x equals to 3, and then bringing the constant term on the left hand side again, you get, this is the general form now you have. Now once you have the general form, you can easily apply the same process, like multiplying 2 into minus 3, you get minus 6. So 3 minus 2, we get 1 here, and 3 into minus 2 is minus 6. So that's how you get x equals to minus 1 and x equals to 3 by 2. Now let us see this question. Here you have to find the value of x or the roots when x belongs to natural number and when x belongs to rational numbers. Okay, so in the first process, when we split the middle term and factorize it, we get x minus 2 equals to 0 and 2x minus 5 equals to 0. Now when x belongs to natural number, we get x equals to 2, but we cannot take this one because here we get x equals to minus 5 by 2, so which is not a natural number. So in the first case we get x equals to 2, and in the second case where x belongs to rational numbers, now 5 by 2 is a rational number. What about 2? 2 is also a rational number, so we get both x equals to 5 by 2 or x equals to 2. Both are the solutions here, right? Because both belongs to rational numbers. In the next question we have irrational numbers in the equation. So what we do when we have, so the process is same, doing the same thing, a into c, whatever you get, 21. Now b is 10, that's 7 plus 3, we can split that into 7 plus 3, and what we get is x is minus root 3 or minus 7 by root 3. So we rationalize it, multiply both numerator and denominator by root 3, and we get minus 7 root 3 by 3. So that's the two solutions of the equation. Now when we have questions like this, we generally take LCM, and the first thing we need to do is we need to convert each and every equation in its general form. Okay, so this is the general form of the quadratic equation. After taking LCM and rearranging the terms, there are three terms, trinomial, right? So rearranging and writing it in the general form. Now you can easily solve this. So you solve it on your own and let me know the answer in the comments. When we have questions like this, we generally cross multiply, and after cross multiplication we shift the terms, that's transposing the terms, and we finally express the terms in the general form of a quadratic equation. Okay, so after this you can easily solve this one we have already explained in the explanation part, so you can go and find the solution from there. Okay, so again when we have questions like this, take LCM. This is the way we finally multiply the denominator with the other side. So 3 into this whole thing, we get 3x squared plus 3x minus 6, and the numerator is 2x squared plus 4. So again rearranging, we get the general form of the quadratic equation. Now I can easily solve this, and let me know the answer in the comment section below. Okay, when we have something like this, where we have a root over a particular given term, what we do is square both the terms on both sides. Okay, so squaring, you remove the root over term, so root 2 into root 2 is 2, and 3 square is 9, so that's how you get 9 into 2, and here you get x into x minus 7. So finally you get the general form of the quadratic equation. Then you can easily solve using the splitting of the middle term. So if you say minus 18 into 1, that's the product of the coefficient of x square, and the constant term is minus 18, and if you split this, one has to be positive and one has to be negative. So how do we get 7? We get 9 minus 2. Okay, so 9 minus 2 are the two numbers which when added gives 7, and 9 into minus 2 is minus 18. So you can solve it easily. Now in this question you have to use the substitution y equals to 3x plus 1. Okay, so wherever you have 3x plus 1 in the equation, you're going to put y in place of 3x plus 1. So substituting 3x plus 1 equals to y in the equation, we get 5y squared plus 6y minus 8 equals to 0. Now this is a quadratic equation in its general form. Now when you solve it, you get two solutions or two roots, that's y equals to minus 2 and y equals to 4 by 5, but you need to find the value of x. So what is y? Y is 3x plus 1, hence in place of y we get 3x plus 1, and from this we get x equals to minus 1, and from the second part we get x equals to minus 1 by 15. So these are the two values of x. Okay, in this question we have p plus 7 equals to 0. This is one condition, and there is another one, q minus 12 equals to 0. So these are the two conditions given, from where we are going to get the values of P, like P equals to -7 and Q equals to 12. Now we're going to put those values, substitute those values in the given equation. After substituting the values of P and Q in the equation, we get x square minus 7x plus 12. Now you can easily solve this, and you need to complete this on your own. Complete and let me know the answers in the comment section. So if you see, the product of A and C is 12, and the factors of 12, which gives you 7, is 4 plus 3. 4 into 3 is 12 and 4 plus 3 is 7. So you can now easily find the solution. Okay, in this question we have x equals to 3 is a solution. Okay, now one of the solution we already have it, x equals to 3. Now we use it to find the value of k. Now we have already learned in the explanation part that when we have the roots, that means in place of x we can put those values, like x equals to 3. In place of x we have put the values of x. So we have k plus 2 x square minus k into 3 plus 6, okay, equals to 0. So since 3 is the root, so that has to be equal to 0. Okay, so after this we can easily find the value of k, which is -4, and then we put the value of k in the given equation to find the value of x or the other root, because we get 2 roots for a given equation. So one root is already 3 we have got, and the other root we need to find out. Okay, so putting the value of k equals to -4 in the equation, we get this -4x and plus 6. So finally you get the general form of the quadratic equation, which on solving or splitting the middle term first, we get -2x plus 6x is plus 4x, and -2 into plus 6 is -12. Okay, so after solving you get x equals to -1 and x equals to 3. Other root of the equation is -1. Okay, so that's how we find the other root of the equation. That's all for now in this class. I hope everyone understood how to solve a quadratic equation using the splitting of the middle term or expressing the left hand expression in 2 linear forms or factors, and then you have understood the concept of roots and solutions. So in the other class we are going to find out the nature of the roots and use Sridhara Acharya's method. So see you in the next class.